Hello guys, today I'm going to do an updated power rankings video from the one I did in April. This is based off the whole year by the way, and I'll give each team an A to F ranking. Okay, let's get started. First up we've got the Adelaide Crows, and based off the whole year, I'll give us an A. 10 and 5, but to the point I've made this video after the win over Richmond. We've had a few good winning bursts, like 3 games. I believe 6 of our wins have been above 60 points. Our wins have been convincing. Have been a really good attacking side. Have been a really good defending side as well, which was sort of an issue the first few rounds of the season, but was fixed so good that it's considered to be one of the biggest and best defenses in the comp. It is going really well for the Crows at the moment, so it's A for me. Brisbane, I'll also give them an A. They are starting to get a few more convincing wins on board. They sort of had, I mean, they had a good start to the year, but their wins were unconvincing. They were just getting the job done. But the last couple of weeks, they have they've started to have a good run of convincing wins, such as the one in Geelong a couple of weeks ago. They won by 40 points, and they're a top four side, so that's been their best win of the year. And see the next few games, if they could win by big amounts, watch out. Carlton, they have been a big issue, haven't they? F. The last 2 games have been the worst 2 games of the year. North Melbourne, they lost by 11 points. They were losing by like 50 points at one stage. That was just disappointing, that game. Like, they've been given the easiest fixture over June, and they only won like 1 game. Like, come on. No, 2 games, sorry, but still not acceptable enough. They probably should have won all of them. They lost to Port, really, really bad as well, last week by 50 points. In the first half, they only scored 1 goal. Like, really bad for Carl at the moment, so I can't put them above F. Collingwood, no question about this, an A. 13 and 2 since opening round, pretty much. They've only lost 1 game. They've won all of them. They're just the best team in the comp at the moment. They sort of had an unconvincing win over West Coast last week, but prior to that, they were flying on form. And you just can't beat Collingwood at the moment. Like, they are a very hard team to beat. And there's no more words about that. Essendon, they're sort of a hard one to rank because they've brought in lots of youngsters, but probably a D. They've still been disappointing. They've lost their past 4 games. They sort of had a decent start to the year, but I think that was probably due to a lot of easy games dished up to them. And now, the past month or so, they've had a harder fixture. They are actually losing the games, and the reality is there for Essendon. They're 13th at the moment, and I mean debuted 11 players, so it's still a learning experience for them. And there are promising young side to come. Fremantle B. Their starts of the year was pretty much shocking. They lost their first couple of games, I believe, but and they also had the really bad loss against St Kilda in round 8. But ever since then, they've been pretty good. 6 games in a row they've won, and their stars are flying, like Andrew Brayshaw, Caleb Sarong, Luke Jackson. The names just roll on. Shy Bolton, and they've been really good. They have built a lot of chemistry together. They are a really good football side. They could be a top four sneaky as well. They're a 10 and 5 record, really flying on form, but I can't put them at A just yet, just because of their poor start to the year. But a B will do for them for now. Gold Coast, I'll give them a B as well. They have been showing a few cracks in the past month. Prior to that, they were superb on an easy fixture. That could be helping them too. But they had some good wins on the way. They won their first like 4 games of the year, beating a couple of top four teams, I believe. Um, they've got a tough fixture to come ahead, so huge test for them if they want to be in the eight. They'll have to win probably most of them. So we'll see what happens for them. Geelong, I will also give them a B. They had a shaky start to the year. I think only winning one of the first 3 games, but they're still a top four quality side. There's no doubt about that. When they're at their best, they're unstoppable. They can beat teams like Collingwood, like what happened a couple months ago. They can beat really good sides, and they can beat up really poor sides. They are still a threatening side. They always seem to be good every year. Like it is sort of getting tiring. GWS, they're an interesting one. They're sort of a weird team because they somehow, like the past month or two, they play good away from home, and I believe they've only won a couple of games at home. They lost a couple of bad games against Fremantle and Port at home, and that sort of puts them back a bit. And it's a bit strange because at home you're meant to play well, and they don't for some reason. They're probably more suited to play away, and they probably find it more comfortable to play it away because they've had a couple of really good wins against Geelong and Brisbane. They have the real capability of beating top four sides, and they beat Collingwood by the way in the opening round. So they, but it's a C for me because they're inconsistent. Like they're a different team every week. You can't predict them really. Hawthorn, hmm, a B? Yeah, I'll give them a B. 10-5 as well. They're a top four quality side pretty much. They are they s- they get the jobs done and they're a really good side. Uh, full of young talent and yeah, I'll move on to Melbourne next. C, their start to the year was as bad as you can get, really. In the April one, I did them F. They've gone up a couple of spots because I think the next 6 games after their 5-0-5 start, they racked up like 5 wins. But since then, it's really flatlined. Like I think they've lost 4 games in a row. I mean, against Gold Coast, their game wasn't too bad. I mean, their start was really poor, but they finished off the game quite strongly. But still a C for me because I don't think they were expected to do much this year anyway, and they've pretty much met expectations, so I'll leave them at that. North Melbourne, I'll also give them a C. Lately, they've been in really good form. However, they had a really bad loss to Hawthorn the other day. It was by 85 points. They never really seemed like in the game. It was really poor. But before that, they had like some really good games. They beat Carlton, and they had a couple of other good wins as well. And they're doing much better than last year, I think. And the next couple years, they could be a finals threat. And when they're at their best, they are really good. But it's just the consistency for North Melbourne and the maturity. In the next couple years, they'll be right up there. Port Adelaide, I'll give them probably about a D. It won't be an F because their form has been not bad since the bye. They've only lost like they lost only 1 game since the bye. They've been 3-1. They're 10th on the ladder. Like I don't think they were meant to do a lot uh, at the start of the year when I think everyone expected them like probably close to around that range or like just in the finals. But they haven't been not too bad. But I think after round 7 or something, they had a really bad run of form. 4 games in a row they lost, and it wasn't looking that good for them. But they've turned it around a bit. But they face a couple of tough games to come. Ladder position might fall a bit, and even though it doesn't really matter for them, but it sort of does in a way. Richmond C. I mean, they've been pretty competitive in quite a few of the games, but the past like month, I think they've been less competitive. Had some really big losses. They had a couple of good wins a couple months ago, though, so that's a C for them. St Kilda D. They had a really good start to the year, winning like 3 of the first 4 games, but ever since then, with the young side that they've got, and they're probably in a rebuilding stage too. They've only won 2 games after gather round. Um, they've been sort of competitive in the past month of games. Like against Fremantle, they were competitive. Against Collingwood, they were competitive. And those are top 8 quality sides, by the way. Um, they haven't been not too bad, but a D because they're bottom 4. Like they're pretty much disappointing. Sydney also a D around about that level. They haven't been too bad since the bye, like Port Adelaide. Like 6 wins they're on. They've won a couple since the bye, I believe. Before the bye, like I think just before the bye, they were really bad. They had a really bad loss against Adelaide, really bad loss against Melbourne, like round 11 and 12, and they've been disappointing overall this year. So a D will do for them. West Coast F, 1 game won for the year. They've just been really bad, honestly. I was expecting West Coast to do much more, like win at least probably 6 games or something, but 1 game. They've been bad for a while now, so I feel sorry for the West Coast fans, but it just hasn't been good for them. They've had a couple of promising outings in the past couple of weeks, been competitive, and the future seems bright with mid-season draftee Tom McCarthy. He looks really good, and it could be promising for the next couple years, but for this year, it's no good. Western Bulldogs, a B. Top 8 quality side. Their consistency is not there though, which lets them down a little bit. They are a strong side when they're running firing. Ever since Sam Darcy has come back, what a big unit he is. He just gets it done week by week. Really hard to stop, and their midfield's electric. And forward line, I think they're the highest scoring team in the competition, so that would be handy for them with a good percentage too. And if they string a really good winning streak together, they could be a top 4 side. All right, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. I'm almost at 300 subscribers, so if I reach it in a week or so, that would be my goal. That would be brilliant. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Cheers.
Inspirasi tanpa batas, you know who I am.